I quoted something yesterday on my Facebook wall. You see, arrogance deeply planted in ignorance is a pathetic state. That's my quote, I mean, and I'll quote it again. Arrogance, deeply planted in ignorance, is a pathetic state. See, you are arrogant, yet you know nothing, next to nothing about what you are saying. I was listening to one of the experts on energy, on Citi FM. And everybody who listened on Saturday was wowed by the gentleman's mindset.
Was that Kojo Nsafwa? Kojo Nsafwa Poku?
Yes.
I think he was.
How did he get it so coconut? I mean, that level of thinking, that is where you see the thinking problem. The gentleman tells me that actually it's difficult to plan a timetable.
I think that's
okay, so who was incompetent was able to bring up a timetable? Then those who had the men arrive to save the situation. And they can't just plan a common timetable. What do we call them? If one is incompetent after doing a yeoman's job, I'm saying yeoman's job carefully. Because I'm seeing 2 power badges arriving in my country. And actually, there was a salient argument that, look, we didn't need that magnitude of capacity. We should have maybe done a little first and then maybe next, you know. And then I was listening. But you see, I'm young, but I'm not too young. I was here around Rollins time. And my uncle was an engineer, electrical engineer in charge of the Boadi plant.
Okay.
Yes, at VRA.
Okay.
He's there. He's about 85 years old now. And so my family has a little romance with VRA. A lot of my cousins are working with VRA. Actually, it's been a family business. The same company that, you know, and it's something we can chat about some other time, you know. I mean, how some of these things that happen in life come back to, you know, it hurts you one time and then comes back to do things, better things for you. Let's go back to the subject. You have a timetable. Then you can plan very well. You know, this time it will go off, even though it's not so favorable. You can adjust and suit in there. I was listening to Citi FM. And you know, Caleb was saying a friend who's a photographer, staying home for about 7 to 8 years, no job, now getting his hands on photography, and his machines are there. He struggled maybe through loan, maybe through borrowing. Work and pay could be the system, and then he actually takes the photo shots, and editing becomes a problem because the power supply is erratic. Yeah. And then you get experts coming to speak, and they tell you straight in the face that they cannot give you a timetable for you to plan your business. You know, so that makes it very, very painful, extremely painful. You know, comparing to the days like I told you about the Rollins era, I saw the thermal plant at Abuadi. Yes. It was a thermal plant to manage the situation. Tell me, after all these years, about 3 decades, Abuadi is a lifesaver for the energy sector of Ghana. The next one was President Kufuor. What did you hear? First thing I saw was pastors going to Agosombo Dam to go and pray. Look, I'm a Christian. But don't joke with me. That was a joke.
No, but the Bui power started and
don't worry, I'm coming. Okay. I'm edging forward. I mean, the prayer started, and the next one.
Wrong with prayer.
Don't worry, prayer is the master's key, I know. But if you don't go and work, the Bible will tell you what it means. Okay. There will be no food for the lazy hands. Yeah. Let's move to the next level. Then the next one was a generator farm. You remember that argument? They said they were going to bring some plenty small generators to come in. As at that time, that was the thinking. I have told you, the thinking problem didn't start yesterday. It's always been a thinking problem. And then we moved to the Bui Dam, which was a lifesaver, okay? And you remember the problem we had at the beginning of the Bui, the dredging, the issues are back and forth. With all the experts, I mean, Bui came in, and then the Bui was, you know that argument of I started, I completed. Yeah. But still, credit to President Kufuor starting it, and then we had the completion by the NDC government. Ghana gained. Now the next phase was a problem because you know what? At any point in time, there are things that happen that are technical and the truth. You keep expanding. Demands keep increasing. We are all talking about expanding the economy. Yeah. Industrialization, okay? So power planning. The next thing you do is power planning. To plan your power sector very well, such that you can postulate and assume that, hey, what if I had positives of about 1,000 companies now? Now with 900 companies is what I'm doing. 1,900 all over sprawl in about 5 years. What do I do? All these would feed into your planning, and then you can plan properly. Now here we are today. in the face of, excess capacity, as we said, what are we making of it? We are rather moving badges. When people are complaining that, look, and I was listening to, Saturdays I listened to the platform. So, religiously, I take, I have a pen and a paper. I read. Look. When I'm writing, I write with seriousness. That, look, people are saying things that you can compare to what you thought already.
Yeah.
And have some salient brain sharpening.
Yeah.
And there was in there the point that, look, in the face of excess capacity, what is keeping us where we are? You have excess capacity. The truths that exist.
Is this still in excess?
Yes. Yes. The calculations they did. Per year add-ons. You will be expanding. Don't forget, once you expand, some companies to grind. Some companies to have ground.
Yeah.
So you look at the next size of it. Some houses have been broken down too. And so let's be smart and look about it.
Yeah.
But all to say that, look, you have excess capacity. What are the facts here? Some of the machines are obsolete, you say. So is it that because of the obsolete machine that you have to take the machine closer to Kumasi, as they were explaining? At every point in time, some of the experts were telling you, it takes just a second. Let me be confused and say a minute to transfer power from Gambanga to Accra. You know how electricity moves. Come, like that. And so don't come and confuse anybody. You've not put in place the measures to distribute this power very effectively. You don't have the measures to fuel the machines. If you were fueling the machine, there's nothing like excess capacity. It is only a sub-minded person who will believe that one. And I'll tell you why, respectfully. There are countries who are buying from Ghana. You remember recently, you see, every time you lie, nature exposes you. You know, recently, when we went very down, we cut supply to some of those countries.
Yes.
So if you were actually in excess capacity and you were generating, power, people are waiting for you. Generate it. They are also expanding their industries. It was something waiting for you, supply our pay. And then you tell me, even when you were in this same arena, when we are having the problem, they are still lying.
Right.
They open their mouth and lie. When actually in another country they want the energy, they want it. You don't have the fuel. The money, you have mismanaged the money. There is money in this country. We are not poor. Not a country that digs a cathedral pit that will come and complain to me that they don't have money. If you have the interest, you don't go and break it down. Look, a building was sitting up, human beings were staying there. You took money to go and break it down. Do you know where the chandeliers are and the fixtures are? You broke them down and you think I'll accept, and you sit here. And then children who are learning, you can put them on platforms. You have the teachers. Systems are moving. We can improve. How do you go high tech? Nobody's saying don't share laptops and tablets. So I'm saying, when are you sharing the tablets? You come to my house and borrow money and eat. And then tomorrow morning you want your son to use a tablet like my son is using. Is that what you call development? When the next morning you don't have it and you have ARV sitting at the pot, that you want the person who gave it to you for free because he gives you 10 cedis. Now you increase your pot. You have increased your pot, whatever, and now it becomes 12 cedis or 15 cedis. You should come and add up the 5 cedis. Hey. My brother, respectfully, I'm not acting. I'm telling you, it is a deep thinking problem.
Right.
Rooted in ignorance.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm sure we'll come back on this matter again, but let me introduce my other guest to you. I have Mr. Thompson, who is Executive Director for the Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA. Mr. Thompson, welcome.
Thank you, Kweku.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. But Kweku, this whole DUMSOR issue, you know, Ghanaians are being served with a cocktail of carelessness, you know, mismanagement, and pure folly. We are being served with a cocktail of carelessness, mismanagement, misplaced priorities, and pure folly. And I'll explain. We have a Minister for Energy who, in the midst of a major power crisis, where we've been served with all manner of excuses, We have a Minister of Energy who is just not interested in the problem Ghanaians are being forced to deal with currently, which is the power problem. He's failed consistently to acknowledge that we are in a power crisis. We've asked for some sort of relief in the form of a scheduling so that Ghanaians can at least plan their lives. We all saw the insult that came with our demand for just a schedule to be able to plan with our lives. So you have a minister who is just careless, who just doesn't care about the plight of the suffering Ghanaian. Then we have a whole government who has lost its priorities, who doesn't know what it wants to do with its life. In fact, the government is lost. Because you see some of the things going on in the country, and you put it into perspective of the conditions in the country, you realize whether people either are out of their mind or they live in a different country. So last week we were in this country, and the whole lump of government officials drove all the way from Accra to Kumasi to go and commission an already commissioned power plant that has been moved from one location to another.
Yeah, but the commissioning is understandable in the sense that it's arriving in a new space. So it's being commissioned for the sake of the people that is coming to serve in that new space.
If you give birth here.
Yes.
And
you can have multiple.
No, after 6 years. And you move your child to another location.
Okay.
After 9 years, you do a whole new naming ceremony for your child because you are moving your child from a new location to a different location. But that's even beside the point, Kweku. Assuming it is granted, the government wants to, yes, engage in this whole fanfare. What about our priorities? We are sleeping in darkness, and you are sitting in Kumasi shouting that you have been able to move a power plant from one location to another. Of what benefit is that to us if we are sleeping in darkness? If the people in Kumasi can get electricity.
Good point.
Of what use is that whole fanfare to us? Of what use? Again, we know deep-rootedly that the power crisis we are being confronted with is because of government's inability to procure gas to power the thermal plants that we have. You can't finance it anymore. You are broke.
Is that the real reason?
That is the real. What else?
No, but they said there's maintenance issues, there's various challenges.
Kweku, there've always been a maintenance issues. Kweku, see, we are not children in this country. You see, sometimes when they speak, they think the only people who've gone to either engineering school or whatever. Kweku, maintenance of power plants is a continuous process. The whole plant does not break down. Every day you have to service one part of the plant or another.
Okay.
As far as the plant is operational, this is simple engineering. Once you use a machine at home, the whole machine will be functional. But there are different parts of the plant that will need servicing. That is normal.
Okay, so let me just give you this into interject in your argument here. So causes of generation shortfalls. This is coming from the Finder. It's an article by Elvis Darko, and it says here, schedule from Gridco for March 27 to April 2nd, 2024 outlines 740 megawatts were unavailable due to maintenance. Okay, wait, just hold on. 595 megawatts due to inadequate fuel supply, and 120 megawatts due to faults. So it's like it's like a cocktail of
you see,
challenge.
that is why I say that. You see, this argument even exposes their incompetence. This excuse.
No, it's not an excuse. So this is an article written by.
No, but based on records provided by Gridco, right?
Yes.
Now, like I said, when you are using a machine, every machine that is in operation will require certain servicing continuous.
Absolutely.
On a daily or regular basis, right? And those services require what? Cash, right?
Yes.
So when ECG, Gridco gives the power to ECG, you sell the power and you collect the money. Part of the money is supposed to go back to finance the purchase of gas and to finance maintenance of machinery and equipment used in the power generation. So when the money for maintenance are not going, when the money to finance the procurement of fuel is not going, and the problem built up, what do you get? It's not DUMSOR.
Yeah.
So what are they telling us? So once you are struggling to provide the financing to procure gas and the financing for regular maintenance of your machinery, how then do you get money to go and sit in Kumasi to engage in a fanfare? We were here and the ministry came to tell us that a power plant, which we've signed an agreement with Ameri, a BOOT, build, own, operate and transfer. And as part of the terms of the agreement, Ameri, after the end of the contract, was supposed to service the plant, the power plant, replace all worn out parts, and ensure that the plant is fully functional before they hand it over to government.
Okay.
That was the terms of the agreement with Ameri. Now, Ameri have completed the terms of the agreement. They are about to hand over. Then you, government, if you have plans of relocating the plant, what do? You tell Ameri to wait. Don't hand over yet. Because you are the ones who built the plant. I have resolved to move the plant from this location to a new location. So I'm going to move the plant to the new location. Then you will go and help assemble the plant, service it, whatever one-out part you have to do as part of the agreement we've signed, you do it, then you hand it over to me. Is that not the right, sensible, is that not the most sensible thing to do? Kwaku, is that not the most sensible thing to do? That if you have plans of relocating the plant, that you don't let the people who build the plant leave. You wait, you let them wait during the period of the end of the contract. Because you've already paid for maintenance cost before handing over.
Yeah.
You move the plant and ask them to help in the maintenance, service it, replace all one-off parts before you hand it over. But because of the criminal mindset of certain people who want to chop the money of the people of Ghana, they went to contract miscellaneous at a cost of $74 million to just move the plant from Takoradi to Kumasi. $74 million. We made a lot of noise, and I want to congratulate my brother Benjamin Boachi of ASEP and Bright Simons of Imani, who joined the call and made a lot of noise, and that deal was abrogated. Today, we are being told that the relocation was given to VRA. Now, they are telling us that they spent about $24 million on the relocation. Some indications we are getting from Parliament is that about $36 million was spent just to move the plant from Takoradi to Kumasi. As we speak, we don't have any official record. The ministry, VRA, everybody is failing to tell us how much it cost to move the plant from Takoradi to Kumasi. But yet, we can't buy gas to power the thermal plants and Ghanaians are sleeping in darkness. $36 million. Kwaku, if anybody tell me that to move the Ameri power plant from Takoradi to Kumasi, the person spent more than 100,000 Ghana cedis, that person is a criminal. That person is a criminal. 100,000 Ghana cedis to move the plant from Takoradi to Kumasi. If somebody said he spent more than 100,000 Ghana cedis to move those power plants, dismantle them, put it on trucks. When the trucks arrive in Kumasi, you saw the images, or sitting on those trailers. How much fuel did you buy in the trailers? How much did you rent the trailers? So if anybody tell me that he spent more than 100,000 Ghana cedis to move those plants from Takoradi to Kumasi, the person is a criminal. But we are being told that $36 million, not cedis, $1 million.
Even $1 million could be excused. I mean, but yeah, I mean, 36 million doesn't make any sense.
This is a government that is just careless. It is insensitive towards the plight of the people of Ghana. Our whole life has been thrown into a state of abyss. We don't know. Now we can't, because you don't know when your light will go off. You just don't know. Everything has come to a standstill in this country. Yet we have criminal cartels sitting in our ministries, coming up with transactions such as this one. And they have the effrontery to come and sit in front of us and make excuses and tell us that it is maintenance, it is this, it is that, it is that.
Before we go for a quick break, let me just read this story from citynewsroom.com, and then maybe you can just take a quick comment on it. Former Member of Parliament for Ayensono, Samuel Ayepe, has insisted that Ghana is not experiencing intermittent power cuts, commonly known as DUMSOR, despite widespread outages plaguing homes and businesses. Let me go quickly to the section where speaking on the big issue on Citi FM and Citi TV, the former Ayesono MP argued that Ghana currently possesses sufficient installed capacity to meet power demand but faces technical challenges hindering its full utilization. And I quote, "We are having some power outages according to the power agencies. They are saying that there is no DUMSOR but technical challenges. DUMSOR happens when you don't have enough power to produce or supply the exact peak demand that we need." Quick comment on this one before we go for a break.
You see, so these are the people who make some of us angry. These are some of the people.
But why are you angry?
These are some of the people. You see, and we call these people honorable members. He's a member of parliament.
Yeah, former member.
He's a disgrace to his constituents.
Oh, isn't that too harsh?
So if we are sleeping, are we damp? So if my light goes off, I don't see that my light is off. And if it is continuous, today my light goes off. Tomorrow it goes off. Yesterday, the whole of Sunday, 24 hours, I had electricity for just 6 hours in my home. What are you telling me? What are you telling me? Koko, please, some of these comments, they just anger the ordinary Ghanaian. They anger the viewers.
Kabutey.
Yeah, my final one is
yes.
The way forward. I think that we need to collect the revenues. You know, when this new ECG boards came on board, some of the exercise he organized, I think we should do that with some human face. Let's have some revenue officers who would go in that relationship style, you know, just convince people. I'm telling you, there are big companies like the coastals, and they owe some amount of money. If you actually were able to, you know, negotiate with them, the payments.
But government is the biggest debtor.
Well, it's exactly so.
Yeah, government is the biggest debtor. They need to pay what they owe.
Exactly. We need to convince them to pay the money, and then also embark on some illegal connection, you know, dislodging. We need to actually disconnect those ones, and it's important because I told you the other time, sardonically, those who actually steal the power, they use it because they don't pay, they use it with some carelessness. They can leave the AC on, and then, you know, because it's not paying.
Because no bill will come.
It's when you are paying that you get so responsible. You need to also negotiate purchase of fuel and lubricant for generation. There are some countries that supply us, you know, fuel. And in this situation, you need to negotiate with them how they can really help us. You know, I mean, borrowing and negotiating is very important. Get those who are, you see, even accepting the situation you are in will give you all this thinking. We need to also negotiate pre-supply with those countries that are dependent on our sector. You know, sometimes maybe it's actually you supply and then you take your money. But if you find yourself in this situation, you can negotiate with those countries and tell them, look, this is the situation we find ourselves. You depend on us. We are not taking advantage of you. Just give us the money so that we can all you know, finance it, pre-finance it, and then we can generate. And also embark on mass education. This will be very difficult because you are not even accepting.
Yeah.
But look, my sister worked with ECG. The way she was actually tough on me around the ages of 11, 12 is what has kept me now. My wife and my children always complain. When I leave the room, I'm even going for just 30 seconds. I'll put it off and come back again. You know, it's more like it's been my lifestyle for years. You know, the orientation. Let people know it's not a matter of being able to pay. Right now, where we are, the supply is not sufficient. So let's actually adopt that one and educate people. Now, let's actually also regulate the supply to ensure, you know, we know where is on and where is off. And look, the proper plan of towns. What in Nkrumah did, you have the industrial area on one side, the residential estates at one side.
Yeah.
What happens is that then, you know, in Ghana, at least, we are all in workplaces and blah, blah, blah. Then you can easily put this one off and then put that one off. Then finally, let's be very transparent and accountable on the spendings in the sector. Like he's rightly saying, you cannot move a plant on machines that we all see and a few technicalities and then come and tell us that you paid $34 million, not cedis. You see, some of these things irritate people and they think you're actually taking advantage of them.
All right, okay.